Hola, mis amores. It's January Pouncil. I am the guiding light and spiritual teacher to intuitive leaders that are being the most authentic version of themselves. They are prioritizing their self care over self doubt. They are trusting their intuition, overflowing with inner peace, and enjoying their lives every single step of the way. And today we're going to be talking about how to simplify your life. Before we jump into today's topic, let's do a quick vibe check. Take a deep breath in, feel what's present for you, and slowly exhale when you're ready. And if you're feeling generous, drop in the comments below what came up for you, what's present for you as we start this conversation. Like I shared with you, today we're going to be talking about how to simplify your life. This is episode number 19 of my ongoing series here on my YouTube channel, where I have been spending the last 45 days sharing with you the path to inner peace. And this is a new week for us. We are starting a week where we are going to be focused on growing in relationships, because relationships are a big part of our inner peace. We interact with other people, we love on other people, they love on us. And when we know how to grow in relationships, we are able to expand our inner peace in a completely different way. Let's talk about who's going to get the most out of today's video, because I know that's important for us. This is for those of you that are intuitive leaders, that are focused on trusting your intuition, that are grounded in prioritizing your self-care over self-doubt, and are desiring to do this feeling unapologetic, feeling bold, feeling confident in yourself, and embodying and experiencing all the abundance that's here for you to have and to be and to enjoy. Those are the people that are going to get the most out of this video, because you are just like me, and that's who I am, and that's who I talk to, because those are the experiences that I am the most familiar with, and what I've dedicated the past 13 years of my life serving. Now, I want to talk about simplifying our lives, because before I simplify my life, I was experiencing quite a bit of frustration. And the clients that I work with who are intuitive leaders and are desiring to prioritize their self-care and do it with inner peace, they also are experiencing quite a bit of frustration when they come and they work with me and they come to partner with me. That's one of the reasons why they come to partner with me. And the frustration that they are experiencing is the same frustration I was experiencing, which is the frustration with my self-care practice, the way that I care for myself, the way that I show up for myself. And what I saw myself that was happening, because I wasn't focused on simplifying my life, because I was focused on doing all the things all the time for everybody, I was auditioning. I was auditioning for other people in the form of overcommitting. I was saying yes when I really wanted to say no, because I wanted to say yes to myself. And this often led to feeling resentful, it led to feeling angry, it led to feeling really disempowered, especially because I knew what to do, but I had a hard time executing on those things. And those are the same patterns I see with my clients. They know what to do. They are not afraid to take action. They're not afraid to show up in in discomfort. They're not afraid to show up for themselves. The challenge they have is that they are having a difficult time taking action and executing on these things, executing on the way they care for themselves, executing on taking time to rest, executing on taking time to enjoy their lives in a different way that doesn't include their business, that doesn't include their responsibilities. So after simplifying my life, though, and after my clients simplify their lives, everything shifts for them. They are able to show up more powerfully. They are able to take their time instead of rushing. They are able to enjoy their life and release that frustration. And instead, they're able to feel satisfied. They're able to feel fulfilled. They are able to go from auditioning for other people to becoming magnets that call in and attract what they desire, because they are embodying that energy first. And that's what I desire for you. And that's why today you're going to learn 4 things. Number 1, I'm going to share with you the number 1 reason why simplifying my life is a non-negotiable for me. And it's also non-negotiable for every single intuitive leader. And I'm going to get into that. Then I'm going to share with you what simplifying my life looks like on the path to inner peace. Because when we're moving with inner peace, we show up differently. We can only control how we show up. So I want you to see what it looks like to show up with that energy and to move with that energy while you're grounded on inner peace. Then I'm going to share with you 3 ways that simplifying my life has made my life 1,000 times better, because it has. And when you are able to see what's possible, when you're able to see the transformations that are possible, it expands you into transforming yourself. It opens you up to possibilities. And for staying with me to the end, I'm going to give you the best way to simplify your life so that you can overflow with inner peace and mental calm. And you'll be surprised how simple this is, because it is all about simplicity today. Before I jump into these gems, and I want to talk to those of you that are ready for the next step, because I know that you are watching. Hi, babes. I know that you're here, and I want you to know what to do next. Below this video, in the description box, there is a link to apply for an authenticity audit with me. These are called authenticity audits because they're designed to ensure that you are living your most authentic life, and that you're going through this process overflowing with inner peace and mental calm, because those are the things that I value. And the people that are going to get the most out of this call are going to be those of you that are leaders committed to one of the following 5 things, or all of the following 5 things. Number 1, you are committed to trusting your intuition at a deeper level. Number 2, you are committed to feeling and facing any triggers that you may be experiencing, full of inner calm and mental peace. Number 3, this is people that are committed to nourishing your body with compassion and self-discipline. Number 4 is for those of you that are committed to releasing borrowed beliefs that are no longer serving you or in alignment with who you're being in the world. And number 5 is for those of you that are desiring to co-create loving and healthy relationships with the people in your life, whether it be your spouse, your clients, your family, your friends, or even complete strangers, because we can have that. Now, if you have said yes to any of those things, or if you feel like, yeah, Nori's talking to me, yeah, that's me, I'm focused on that, especially in the new year, I'm focused on that, then this video is for you. This call is for you. This authenticity audit is for you. Make sure that you apply for one of them, especially if you are serious about being the most authentic version of yourself, if you are serious about prioritizing your self-care, and you desire to do it loving life, loving and enjoying every single moment. Click on the link in the description box below, and let's go create some magic in your life. Let's explore our alignment. All right, here's the story I got for you today, because I always come with a story. This is like one of my favorite parts of doing this video, is sharing these stories with you. So in 2021, I was pregnant. I got pregnant with my son. I didn't know he was going to be a son at the time, and his name is Sage. And when I was pregnant with Sage, pregnancy completely shifted everything for me. Because before I got pregnant, and I feel like I might have talked about this earlier in this series at some point. Before I got pregnant, y'all, I was doing all the things. I was working out like twice a day. And I would do tennis in the morning and tennis in the evening. I was logging anywhere from like 2 to 4 hours of workout every single day. My morning routine was about 4 hours. I would say about 3 to 4 hours every single day, because I could set my own time. I can move differently. I didn't have a baby chilling in the background. And I was so like clear on my self-care. Everything was like boom, 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 boom. And then I got pregnant. And when I got pregnant, my body felt everything, because I'm very in tune with my body. I'm the person that does yoga, the person that stretches, the person that cares for themselves in that way. So I'm very in tune with what happens in my body, because I be in my body all the time. And I could feel the pregnancy kicking off. I knew the moment I was pregnant, because I could feel like the hormones in my body rushing and gushing. Before I took a test, I already knew what was going on. And the thing that happened was I started to rest. I was being called to rest, because resting was something that my body needed. It was going through a huge transition. And here I was, like, I had prayed for this baby. This wasn't an accident. I was very intentional about when I was getting pregnant, what was happening. Like, this was a very prayed situation. And at the very same time, y'all, I wasn't ready. It took me out. And I found myself resting. And I was resting and resting and resting. And while I was resting, I was going through a lot of stress. Now, why are you going through a lot of stress when you're resting, girl? It's simple. Because in my mind, I was having a bit of a meltdown, because I was so used and obsessed to doing things. I was so used and obsessed to being everything for everybody. So while I was pregnant and I was not engaging in those behaviors, I shrunk how much work I did. I reduced my working hours to from like, I don't know, 30 to 15 or 10 sometimes. I had somebody that was helping me run the business while I was maternity leave. Like, there was a lot going on with me. And I found myself resting with an attitude. I found myself resting and being upset. I found myself resting because I was doing less and I was not happy about it. And when this happened, at first I didn't realize it. I didn't realize that I was upset. I didn't realize that I was having this reaction to this because I was just thinking, oh, I wish I was working out and I wish I was this and I wish I was that. And the more I sat in that energy, the more it became clear to me why simplifying my life is a non-negotiable. The number one reason why simplifying my life is a non-negotiable, especially as an intuitive leader, is because simplification leads to more joy. Doing less opens the floodgates to enjoy your life more. And I didn't realize that was going on, that was possible for me, I would say until that pregnancy season. It helped me see things in a more clear way. It helped me see that I was so accustomed to filling my life with things and with doing to distract myself from facing myself that I was having a difficult time sitting with myself, doing less things in my life, allowing that joy to flow in by receiving. I didn't even know that was going on. And that's the number one reason why simplifying my life is so important to me. It's a non-negotiable for me because it holds space. It allows me to create space to receive. It allows me to create space to enjoy my life. It allows me to create space to see how I'm showing up in the energy of overcommitment, like I told you earlier. It allows me to see how I'm showing up to my self-care. Because if I'm complicating things by putting a bunch of things in my day, I'm going to have a difficult time having the space to care for myself. And self-care to me is not something that I do on the weekends. It's a way of life. And when my life is simple, I'm able to embody that and show up to that with a deeper level of confidence and conviction. And this is what I want to share with you what that looks like. What does it look like to simplify our lives as thought leaders on the path to inner peace? The biggest thing that comes up for me that it has looked like to simplify my life as an intuitive leader on the path to inner peace is doing less. Excuse me. Doing less even when I can do more. Doing less even when I know how to do more. Just doing less. And I realized that there was a lot of attachment I had developed to doing more. And I developed this attachment because that's what I had learned. I learned to find safety in achievement. I learned to find safety in doing. I learned to have familiarity in overcommitting. And when it was a time for me to rest, because the pregnancy really called me to rest, at a point I even experienced sciatic nerve pain. So even though I had been playing tennis for a little bit while I was pregnant, I had to sunset that because my body was really calling for the rest. Even with all that going on, I was able to see the power in doing less. And what this looks like for me, and I've alluded to it already in a way, is reducing the amount of time I was spending in the business and amplifying the amount of time I was spending in caring for myself. Amplifying the amount of time I was spending enjoying my rest, enjoying my body changing and transitioning as it was preparing for me to deliver and grow life. And this is different than the way I would have acted before, because before I would have been like, I gotta push myself, girl, let's go hard. We could do this. Like, let's get it done. And in that season of my life, I chose not to do that. To walk on a path of inner peace looked like choosing not to do that. It looked like choosing to go against what felt unfamiliar. It looked like choosing to go towards what felt unfamiliar and against what felt quote unquote safe, because my safety wasn't doing. And during that season of my life, I made the decision to transfer that to myself, to transfer the energy that I will give to the business or all the other things out there to myself. And that made my life a lot better. Let's get into how it made things a lot better for me. The first thing that he did, he revealed to me how much I had been starving for rest. When I was pregnant with Sage and I was called to be resting at a deeper level, I learned how much I had been craving to rest. I saw for the first time, I believe, in that season, that I had gotten so focused on building a business, that building my business had become my number one thing, that my self-care had fallen off my priority. And because my self-care had fallen out of my priority, my rest was falling out of my priority. My rest was lost. And I wasn't really resting. And when I became pregnant and I saw myself going through that experience, I realized how important my rest really was and how much joy it brought me to rest. Because at first I had an attitude about it. I ain't working out. I'm not getting to go to the gym, or I'm not running, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. Focus on the things that I didn't enjoy. And then when I began to focus on how much I enjoyed the rest, how good it felt to start the day, have a smoothie, and get back in the bed, it ended up feeling really great. Because my husband was like, you don't have to work if you don't want to. But because my ego was trying to run the show, because a part of me was still very much giving that energy of I got to keep things complicated. I'm like, I got to work. And when I was able to see that there is beauty in the rest, there's joy in the rest, I allow myself to sit in that joy. The second way that he has made my life 1,000 times better is improve my ability to receive. First was rest, and second was receiving. When you're pregnant, your exercise of receiving gets a lot of work out, because people are so willing to share things with you. People are willing to hold space for you. People are aware that you're cultivating life and they hold that energy for you. At least that was my experience because of how I show up in the world. And because I show up in the world like that, I was able to receive during my pregnancy. I was able to receive by simplifying things around me. I was able to receive by not making things complicated and getting caught up on all the things that I had going on. And at times that's really uncomfortable for me, because I'm used to giving and I'm used to doing things my way. And when you are receiving, it requires that you are surrendering to the divine. It requires that you are open to things looking differently. It requires that you don't get attached to how things have to be or how you want things to be. And during that time, I was able to shift out of that. I was able to see what it was like to be open to receiving and see how much I enjoy it, because I actually really like receiving. I know people be out here they want to be independent and they want to run all the things. People is me. That definitely used to be my approach with it. But in reality, I like receiving. I like being taken care of. I like doing all those other things too. I like experiencing those things. And I allow myself to see that during that time in my life, which before I really wouldn't have done. And when I learned that about myself, it made it easier to expand that into the areas of my life. And it made it easier for me to prioritize my self-care past pregnancy. It made it easier for me to be willing to show up to myself in this way, even when it felt uncomfortable. And that's really why we do this, because it's all about that inner peace, Nami. And when you feel good about your life, you transfer that to other people. You're nicer, you're kinder, you're more loving, you're more compassionate. People want to be around you. You can build relationships that are grounded in honesty and love and unconditional acceptance, which a lot of us are lacking. A lot of us are yearning for, especially right now. And because you are an intuitive and you lead people, these are the type of things that help you make your life better. Keeping things simple allow you to make self-care a lifestyle versus something you do on the weekend or something you do on a Thursday or on a Tuesday. And then your life just gets much more joyful. So before I jump into the bonus, and I will, let me get a sunflower if y'all want this bonus. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about you in 2024 and what you're going to do to show up this year with a deeper level of authenticity, to live your life more joyfully and more peacefully, and what I can do to support you in that process. Listen, if you are committed to showing up in this new year as a version of yourself that you are absolutely in love with, I want to invite you to apply for an authenticity audit with me. In the comments below, no, not in the comments, in the description box below, there is a link for an application that you can submit for what we call the authenticity audits. These authenticity audits are called authenticity audits because they are focused on ensuring that you are living your life in the most authentic way, because that's how you're going to love it. And that you're moving through this with inner peace and mental calm, because that's what I value. That's what I like to focus on. And this is for those of you that are desiring and are committing to do two things. Number one, you want to show up in a more powerful way, prioritizing your self-care over self-doubt. And number two, you desire to do this with leveraging high-level mentorship. And if that's you, then you want to make sure that you click on the link below and apply for one of these authenticity audits. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to meet for 45 minutes. And in those 45 minutes, we're going to map out the most joyful path to you being in your life and expanding in your life, full of overflow, full of inner peace, full of mental calm, and enjoying the journey as much as the destination. And to do this in 30 to 90 days, because it can be done, so why not? And this is for those of you that are committed to, number one, trusting your intuition at a deeper level. Number two, facing your triggers no matter what, and doing it with calm, because it can be done with calm. Triggers are intense or can be intense, but you can journey them with calm. This is for those of you that are committed to nourishing your body, and nourishing your body with compassion and self-discipline. And this is for those of you that are also all about releasing borrowed beliefs that are no longer serving you, beliefs that are no longer in alignment, so that you can build healthy and loving relationships with the people in your life, with your clients, your spouse, your family, your friends, and even complete strangers, because, why not? This is everything that is needed for you to be a more joyful and expanded version of yourself. The version of yourself that you know is possible, that you have seen glimpses of, the version of yourself that you know can help you experience more and more joy. So if that's you and you decide to work with me, make sure that you click in the link in the description box and book one of these authenticity audits, because they're going to be transformational for you. They're specifically designed with you in mind, and it's because I've been where you are. And these are the type of conversations that would have served me when I was in that space, and I'm sharing them with you. I have 5 this week, y'all. I want to say I have 5 available for this week. Yeah, I do. So to apply, click on the description box below, and let's co-create some magic in your life. You ready for a bonus? So here's the best way to simplify your life. You might even laugh at me saying this because it's going to be so obvious, but it is what it is. The best way to simplify your life and do it with ease and calm is 2 parts. Number 1, do less things that you don't enjoy. And number 2, do more things you do enjoy. I told you it's going to be mad simple. Let me get some water because she's thirsty. Also, you can't see this, but my husband is literally at the door right now. I don't know what he's doing there. I think he's watching me work or watching me record. Or do you need something from here? He does need something from here, so he's gonna have to wait till I finish. So here's what I mean by this. It's actually really, really that simple. It's to do less of the things you don't enjoy and do more of the things you do enjoy. And at first, it sounds really obvious. And then you start to get deeper into it and you start to notice that there's quite a lot of discomfort that comes with this. That comes from doing things that you don't enjoy, because the things that we don't enjoy that we engage in are familiar to us. And when things are familiar to you, you engage in them more and more because they feel safe. And this is why it's important to do more of the things that we do enjoy, because for a lot of us, especially those of us that are leaders, we are used to doing things we don't enjoy in the name of success, in the name of achievement, in the name of feeling some type of way, because that's what we have learned to do. That's how we learn to show up in the world. And when we begin to do the things that we enjoy, we discover how attached we have been to those behaviors and those patterns on one side. On the other side, we also discover how much we enjoy these things, and we get reminded of how aligned they feel and how joyful they feel. And then we give ourselves permission to do it more and more. And when you move like that, that's the easiest way to simplify your life, because then you can clearly see what are the things that you are enjoying and what are the things that you're not enjoying. And then it becomes a lot easier to do less of what you don't enjoy and more what you do enjoy, while at the same time holding space for the discomfort that's going to come up when you're doing less of the things that you don't enjoy and more of the things that you do enjoy. And that's the part here, right? It's to be aware that there is a holding space. There is a discomfort that's going to come out of that you may get triggered by. And if you find yourself experiencing that, this is where you got to book one of those authenticity audits with me, because that means that we want to respond to the triggers with more ease and flow. All we can do is control how we show up. And this is part of looking at how are we showing up. And that's how you do it. That's how you simplify your life. And then you just do less things. Like, you do less of what you don't like and more of what you like. And then you see how it feels. Easy peasy. In the next video, I'm going to cover why timing is everything. Let me tell you something. I've done quite a bit of learning and growing with timing, especially divine timing, and the releasing of the attachment to timing. And I want to share with you what that process is like, because I know that you always be wanting things yesterday, and at the same time, that's not how it always plays out. So what do we do when that happens? Let's talk about it in the next episode. For those of you that are submitting your applications to work with me, I look forward to seeing you on the other side. My name is Janari Pouncil. I am the guiding light and spiritual teacher to intuitive leaders that are being the most authentic version of themselves, prioritizing the self-care over self-doubt, being the most joyful version of who they are, overflowing with inner peace, and enjoying their lives every single step of the way. And I'm here to make sure that you see things clearly. So remember, mis amores, you are a whole vibe. Go and shine and be iconic. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And be well. Hasta luego.